when you on the other side
Yeah.
of a marriage that did not work the way you thought,
Yeah.
it changes everything. It's painful. You know, I just bought a piece of property, first piece of property. In the contract, Devon Franklin, an unmarried man. I might have well broken down because I never saw this moment. When we said I do, there was never a moment when we were thinking I don't. So to live in the I don't,
Yeah, that's pain.
you don't know what it's like until you do.
I'm ashamed. I've never wrestled with a woman before. I mean, it's just, I've never aggressed. I aggressed. Like,
You strangled me and pushed me against the car.
yeah, all those things are under aggress.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's never happened to me. So
Because I said something sarcastically, if in your eyes.
clearly it's more than that.
Yeah.
Clearly that.
Something inside of you.
Yeah.
So boom, it's official. Jonathan Majors and Meagan Good are married. And guess who's not thrilled? Meagan's ex-hubby, Devon Franklin. Even though they've been apart for a minute, word on the street is Devon still ain't fully moved on. Folks are saying he's low-key spiraling over their marriage news, and some even think he's been holding on to the idea of rekindling things with Meagan. But wait, it might not just be about heartbreak. This meltdown could be coming from a place of worry. Just hours before Jonathan confirmed the marriage, some wild audio hit the internet, and it's messy. In the clip, you can straight up hear Jonathan admitting he laid hands on his ex, Grace Jabari. Yeah, the same guy who's been out here claiming he did nothing wrong for the past few years just got caught in 4K. The internet lost its mind. Now people are whispering that Devon sent a serious warning to Meagan, something strong, like, girl, don't ignore the red flags. So what exactly did he say? And is he really trying to win Meagan back? Or is this just about him not wanting to see her hurt? But here's the twist. Rumor is Devon already has a new lady in his life. So is this really about concern or jealousy? Let's not play. Jonathan and his team clearly know how to work the media. That marriage announcement dropped like a bombshell. With all the heat around him, they're moving fast, and some folks are calling it a major distraction tactic. Either way, things just got real, and we're about to get into the full story behind the drama. So get this. Just a few days ago, rumors were swirling like crazy that Jonathan Majors and Meagan Good had secretly tied the knot, and guess who kicked that whole thing off? Jonathan himself. Yep, he was the one who slipped up and called Meagan his wife while talking about her, and tried to backpedal real quick, correcting it to fiancé. But let's be real, that wasn't no slip-up, that was calculated. He knew exactly what he was doing, planting that little seed so the internet would go wild, and it worked. Fans were out here losing it, trying to figure out if they were already hitched behind the scenes. Now, Jonathan and Meagan have kept their relationship on the low for the most part, but make no mistake, they've been all in. Jonathan's always going off about how much he loves and appreciates her. And remember that one moment when he casually called her the missus like it was nothing? At an event, he even handed her the mic saying, "So babe, you want to say anything?" It was giving wifey vibes way before the official drop. And let's not forget, they made their engagement public last year, so it's not like this came out of nowhere. But Jonathan, he played the long game. He teased it just enough, let the fans go full detective mode, and then bam, popped up on the Sherry Shepherd show with the confirmation they're officially married. And not only that, he pulled out the waterworks too, got emotional right there on TV. Say what you want, but he knows how to put on a show. And those rings? Yeah, they were flexing hard. Or was it all for show? Either way, it was a cute moment. But if you're wondering how the wedding actually went down, Jonathan was more than ready to spill the details. And let's just say, the man was cheesing. Real or not, he was lit up like a Christmas tree. Now, but you know who wasn't cheesing with him? Meagan's ex-husband, Devon Franklin. Now, Devon's been off doing his own thing since the split, but word around town is that he's been regretting that divorce for a long time. Apparently, he wasn't as over Meagan as he tried to act. And honestly, we should have seen it coming. Every time that man's in front of a mic or a camera, he finds a way to bring up Meagan or the divorce, like clockwork. It's like he just can't let it go. At one point, it looked like he had moved on. He started dating Maria Castillo and things seemed solid between them. Smiling in pics, out and about, it was giving new chapter energy. But then out of nowhere, sources started claiming he was deeply bothered by Meagan getting married to Jonathan. Insiders said he's been spiraling a bit, and honestly, it's not hard to believe. Even though Devon filed the divorce papers, rumor has it Meagan was the one who wanted out. Reports say she was done with the marriage and ready to move on, while Devon was still trying to fix things. But with people from his church already breathing down his neck, he decided to file first, just to make it easier on her and keep things clean. That move? It wasn't about letting go, it was about protecting her image. So when Jonathan and Meagan made it official, yeah, That might have felt like the final nail in the coffin for him. No more hope, no more second chances. Just confirmation that she's really gone and not coming back. But here's where things get messy. Fans are seriously split on all this. A lot of folks aren't even saying Devon Franklin is mad just because he lost Meagan. It's more about who she ended up marrying. People are side-eyeing the whole situation, especially with all the serious accusations tied to Jonathan Majors. There's this theory blowing up online right now that the only reason Jonathan chose to publicly drop the marriage bombshell was to flip the narrative and get some good PR. Why? Because just hours before that "we're married" announcement, an audio clip leaked where you can straight up hear Jonathan admitting to putting hands on his ex, Grace Jabari. It didn't stop there, but folks started posting photos of Grace's injuries too, and you don't need to be a detective to see something definitely went down. So now, the internet is buzzing with talk that Jonathan is using Meagan's clean, lovable image to distract the public and dodge accountability. Fans think he knows Meagan has a strong fan base and he's trying to shield himself by standing next to someone people trust. Some even say this whole relationship was strategic from the start. Let's not forget, the relationship popped off right after those DV allegations hit back in March 2023. The timing? Super suspicious. And Jonathan? He didn't waste a second. He got himself a high-powered legal team real quick. That was probably smart because from day one, the case was a chaotic mess. The reports were full of contradictions, back-and-forth statements, and straight-up confusion. It was clear this wasn't going to be a simple situation, and if he wanted to protect himself, he needed serious legal backup. Now, with marriage talk, emotional interviews, and all this PR spinning, fans are asking, is it love or just strategy? Jonathan Majors' legal team didn't waste any time jumping in to shut down the DV allegations. His lawyer came out swinging, claiming Jonathan was completely innocent, and actually the victim in the situation with a woman he knew personally. According to them, this was just a misunderstanding, and they were confident all the charges would be dropped real soon. They weren't just talking, they said they had receipts. That included video footage from inside the vehicle where everything supposedly happened, statements from the driver, and even other witnesses who saw and heard what went down. But the biggest bombshell? They claimed they had 2 written statements from the woman herself, Grace Jabari, where she took back the allegations. His lawyer kept pushing the same message. Mr. Majors is completely innocent and didn't touch her at all. She even said Grace was going through an emotional episode that night, and that's what led to the whole thing, not any abuse. She was taken to the hospital, and according to the legal team, the only reason Jonathan got arrested is because NYPD is required to make an arrest in cases like this, even without solid proof. They were loud about expecting the charges to get tossed quickly. But here's the kicker, they weren't. The charges stuck, and that's when fans really started raising eyebrows, and especially when Meagan Good showed up with Jonathan right before the trial kicked off. That move caught a lot of heat. People were saying Jonathan was just using another black woman to clean up his image after being exposed by a white woman in a DV case. And even though the backlash came hard, Meagan stood by him, not just in words, but physically. She pulled up to court with him multiple times, hand in hand. But things took a sharp turn when leaked text messages between Jonathan and Grace dropped, and let's just say they weren't looking good for him. In one message, Grace told him, "They assured me that you won't be charged." Yeah, not a great look. In the leaked text, Grace told Jonathan, "They said they had to arrest you as protocol. When they saw the injuries on me and knew we had a fight, I'm so angry that they did, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens out of this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone." She even mentioned she'd just gotten out of the hospital, but the whole tone made it feel like she was being guilt-tripped into blaming herself. People who read the messages said it felt like classic gaslighting with her trying to protect him while clearly being in pain, but that wasn't even the worst of it. In another batch of texts, Jonathan said something that had everyone's jaw on the floor. "I fear you have no idea what could happen. If you go to the hospital, they'll ask questions, and if they even suspect something, it could lead to an investigation, even if you lie." And Grace? She replied, "I'll tell the doctor I bumped my head. If I go, I'll give it one more day. I just can't sleep and I need stronger painkillers. That's all. Why would I want to tell them what really happened? I want to be with you. I feel like you want to be with me, and maybe just so you don't embarrass yourself after what you told your friends and family." It's heavy stuff, but then Jonathan sent another message that took the whole convo to a dark and emotional place. "Last night, I considered taking myself out instead of coming home. You said you needed love, and I put my feelings aside to give you that. But I need love too. Or maybe I'm such a monster that I don't deserve it and should just kill myself. This way of existing is miserable." Fans reading that were stunned. The manipulation, the guilt-tripping, the emotional pressure, it was all laid out. These texts didn't just raise red flags, and they practically set off alarms. So in the end, Jonathan Majors was officially found guilty, but only on a misdemeanor assault charge. He got acquitted of the more serious counts like intentional assault in the 3rd degree and aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree, and guess what? He completely dodged jail time. Instead, he was handed probation and ordered to complete a DV intervention program.
At the end of the day, one thing I know is I can always look myself in the mirror when I trust my spirit, when I trust God, when I ask God, and when I, move to the beat of my own drum, I can always look and say, okay, I'm proud of that. No matter whatever happens, I have peace in my heart, I have harmony in my heart, and it's only when I do something based on someone else saying, well, I think you should do this. And I take everyone I love's opinion and advice into account for sure, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to live my life, and I'm the one who has to, get to heaven one day prayerfully and give God an account of what I did. And so I want to be responsible for the choices that I make.
A lot of people feel like he got off way too easy, especially given how serious the situation was. Still, there's another side that's been loud too. Folks who believe he shouldn't have been convicted at all. They're saying Jonathan was innocent and that the whole case was blown out of proportion and dragged too far. The Manhattan District Attorney clearly didn't agree, though. After the trial, they released a heavy statement saying the evidence showed a clear cycle of emotional and psychological manipulation, and that Jonathan's actions followed a dangerous pattern that's all too common in intimate partner cases. According to the DA, the jury saw the full scope of that pattern and decided it was enough to hold him accountable. And man, the backlash was intense. Jonathan got dragged across social media, and Meagan Good wasn't spared either. Her image took a huge hit, and it didn't stop there. Turns out Meagan wasn't just standing by him emotionally, she was financially backing him too. Word on the street is that she's been covering everything from his child support to personal expenses. According to the Jasmine brand, she's even paying off his bills and dropped a shocking $75,000 on dog training. Yep, not a typo. $75,000 for some canine lessons. Fans are confused, like, what's really going on here? People are wondering what Meagan even sees in this man, because if she keeps footing all these bills, she might end up struggling to pay her own mortgage, and before anyone starts screaming haters, let's just be real for a sec. This ain't about jealousy. Folks are concerned. Even Meagan's own friends weren't too hyped about her getting involved with Jonathan Majors from the very beginning. Word is, folks in her circle were giving her warnings, dropping hints, and basically saying, this ain't it. So nah, it wasn't just strangers online side-eyeing the relationship. People close to her had concerns too. But Meagan, she didn't pay it no mind. She went full steam ahead and ended up marrying him. A move that apparently has her ex-husband, Devon Franklin, stressed all the way out. According to an insider, Devon is really worried about her. Word is he even did a little digging into Jonathan's past, and what he found? Let's just say it didn't sit right. Turns out, there's been chatter for a while now about Jonathan not being the good guy he portrays himself to be. People who knew him before the fame are now coming forward, claiming he's cold, manipulative, and just putting on a nice guy act. One of the first to speak out was filmmaker A.B. Allen, who dropped a cryptic tweet way before any of the legal drama even went public. He wrote, "There's a particular actor relatively new on the scene who Twitter has fallen head over heels for, who in actuality is a vicious, cruel human being both professionally and personally. Every new thirst tweet about him drives me insane." At the time, the tweet didn't name anyone, so most folks brushed it off, just another vague post, right? But fast forward to when Jonathan's DV situation hit the news, and suddenly, that tweet was getting resurrected. People went back, pulled it up, and quoted it with a, "We know who this was about now," and A.B. Allen himself confirmed it, we ding ding ding. But he wasn't alone. Another voice from Jonathan's past, Tim Nicolai, who worked with him in the Broadway scene, came forward too, and Tim didn't hold back. He tweeted, "I'm just gonna say this about Jonathan Majors and be done with it. Folks at Yale and in the broader NYC theater community have known him for years." That part right there had folks raising their eyebrows even higher. He's a sociopath, and this is how virtually everyone talks about him. That's what Tim Nicolai said, and trust, that hit hard. It's honestly wild that it took this long for the truth to start coming out about Jonathan Majors. So yeah, at this point, Devon Franklin might have been right all along. He could really be the only one who still has Meagan Good's best interests at heart. His so-called crash out might not be him being messy. It might be him watching someone he once loved walk into something dangerous. Now let's be clear. Nobody's saying Jonathan is definitely going to hurt Meagan. But given the history and the disturbing claims floating around, Devon's concerns sound a whole lot more valid. I mean, he was married to Meagan for nearly a decade. That's not just some random ex. That's someone who knows her. So Meagan going from Pastor Devon, a man known for preaching love, respect, and patience, to someone who's been accused of violence and manipulation? Yeah, that's a massive shift. It's got people wondering if she's really okay, and if she's seeing the full picture. The real question is Meagan ready to cut her losses and walk away, or is she going to keep standing by Jonathan through the heat, hoping it all blows over? Is she packing her bags or doubling down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Daily Fame, because trust me, the next video, it's straight up wild and you don't want to miss a second of it.